As president of the Idaho AFL-CIO, the staff and I have spent the last 5 months working to produce a plan of action that will have impact and purpose. We have been working to create an action plan that will not only get labor moving again, it will unite us. It will rebuild and reconnect lost relationships, and it will put a new face on labor. The face is yours. We have a two-pronged action plan. Some of the plan has been detailed in this video, but I assure you there is much, much more to come. We want to become more directed in our initiatives and our processes. I would like to discuss our strategic plan, which is just the first part of the action plan.
So one of our first areas of responsibility is to the executive board. After all, they're the ones who've put us in this position to be the voice of the labor movement in the state of Idaho. What we want to do is to be able to provide reports to them in 4 specific areas. First, presidential report, and that comes from the president. We're going to do that in a video format so that every member of the board can not only watch the video and get a good understanding of what's been going on during that month with the president, but also it's an easier message to move along to the rest of the membership. The second report that we have are on project updates. There are several different things that we're working on in this office simultaneously, and just to make sure that we're keeping things in order and that we're keeping priorities in line. We want to be able to give updates to the board on what those different projects are. So a new thing that we want to be able to do is give an update from the Vice President and the Secretary Treasurer. Those are things that have not been done in the past, and their positions are vital, and so it's important that we get those updates to the e-board as far as the things that they're involved in. So the fourth thing that we want to do is provide legislative updates. And in the past we've given updates during the 3 months that they're in session. But what we want membership to understand is that there's another 9 months of the year that things are happening, that issues are coming up, legislation's being written, and we want them to be aware of what's going on with our government, and that's our job as the legislative arm of the union. So another area of responsibility that we have as an office is to the CLCs and the membership who pay our wages and pay to keep the doors open so that we can be that legislative arm and that political voice for the labor movement and training resource for the membership. One of the things we want to make sure that CLCs are involved in more and have the information for are national actions or any statewide actions that we may sponsor. Additionally, we want to be able to partner with them and help them with any local issues that they may have. Be there to support them for any actions that they may want to sponsor within their community that have to do with unions that are affiliated with their particular CLC. Another thing that we want to really be involved in are community outreach opportunities. To be a member of a union and put the face of labor out there in front of people, to let them know that we care about our communities, we care about the people that we work with, and the people that we don't work with, but people that we are in community with. We want to build those relationships and let people know that unions aren't just a bunch of people who go to work and claim their paycheck, but they're there to help in the community. Rake up Boise, for instance, or help out with the 4-H, or as they have in Pocatello, sponsor an entire golf tournament to support a local organization. So we want to be able to do that. We want to do more community outreach. We also want to build those alliances with organizations such as the Idaho Food Bank or other organizations that may want to support our cause but that aren't aware of us. We want to communicate to them and let them know that we're out there and we want to partner with them. Another thing that we want to help CLCs with are identify those special interest stories, and not just to identify them, but do something about it. Put a face to these special interest needs. Be able to create a video or create a story that can go out to the press that says, hey, here's a special situation in this community that we either help with or need help with. Those are the kinds of stories that we want to get, and we can only get those by partnering with the CLCs. Additionally, we want to be able to do training, and we want to do it more effectively. We want to be able to tell the membership what it is that we do. We want to define what is the difference between the state fed and a CLC. Not that there's a hierarchy there, but that there's a partnership there, and we want people to understand what that partnership is. We also want to be able to identify people who may have a particular skill, such as lobbying or help with legislation. We want to be able to train them and educate them, either preparing speeches or to defend what it is that what the issue is that they want to support. So we want to go back out into these CLCs that have been really neglected by the state fed for years. And we want to be able to go out and become a partner with them and help them accomplish the things that they need to do to make this labor movement strong again. An area that we've targeted that we've not done really well in is the media, and specifically earned media. Right now we're in a position where we have to do the work, produce the stories, and put them out there for the news media to use, because we don't have the press knocking down our doors and asking us for stories of what's going on, what's the latest news. We have to produce those, and we have to publish those and put them out there for the news sources to take up and spread around for us. So we do that through press releases or opinion editorials, or op-eds as they're called. Again, special interest stories. We create those through the CLCs, and we produce these special interest stories that maybe will pique their interest, and we'll see it on the 6 o'clock news. We also, with video production, produce videos and put them out on YouTube. I'll talk a little bit more about social media. And then finally, legislative updates. We keep that information out there. If we find a piece of legislation that we feel really needs some press, then we need to push that through these news outlets. We find them and we inform the press that they're there and that we need help getting it out. So earned media is going to become a very valuable part of communicating what labor is doing, and that it's on the move. Social media is another area of interest for us. We want to really get involved in this and begin to use it as a tool for internal operations, as well as getting our message out to the world and to our community specifically. We're using areas now such as YouTube and Vimeo, which are video posting sites. We also use Facebook and Twitter. We use those at least on a daily basis, and with Facebook I know we're using that multiple times. We're posting multiple times during the day with those. And then website usage. We've updated our website a number of times in the last couple of years to become more modern and to use some of the tools that are available to us today. We're going to continue to improve the website, possibly turning it into an e-commerce site to help us with fundraising and other things that we need to become more modern. Another area, a new area that we're venturing into with our web presence or our social media is a tool called Chatter. And basically what Chatter is it's a private form of Facebook, if you will. It's basically the same platform that Facebook uses, but it offers a much more secure and private area for our e-board to communicate with each other and to talk about ideas and thoughts and feelings and become more productive and more fluid. Chatter will allow us to share video. It'll allow us to share files up to 100 megabytes in size, so we can put some significant documents out there that the e-board can look at and talk about and work with. And it's really a new collaboration tool. A new thing on the horizon right now is Google+, and specifically within Google+, they offer a site called Hangout. And what that is a video conferencing site. Now in the past we've used telephone conferencing rather than video conferencing. Video conferencing has been very expensive and thus not a tool that we've utilized. However, Google has offered this Google+ Hangout site that is actually free. And our entire e-board can discuss things over video now. They can share documents on that. They can have a presentation and everybody can view it. And the nice thing about that is that it doesn't cost us anything. So our whole social media aspect, the tools that we have available to us and the tools that we're using are going to allow us to definitely move more swiftly. It's going to allow us to collaborate more, either with our membership or within our own internal organization. So we do look at social media as a new strength that we have as far as mobilizing and organizing membership. In the past, we haven't used a lot of metrics to measure how we're doing and metrics to hold us responsible and accountable to the work that we're doing in this office. With the new Solidarity Grant, there are some requirements that the National Office has put on us in order to get this grant. The first thing that we have to do is we have to offer them a written plan of action, and that action is going to include a lot of things that haven't been done, specifically to the communication office, that didn't really exist 2 years ago. Now that we have this office and we have more flexibility to do things, we're going to have a plan of action. We can't just be focused on building a web page and doing some social media things and being happy with that. There's a lot more to be done. It's a bigger job than that, and so we have to come up with a plan of action. That action plan is going to have two approaches. The first approach is going to be a strategic plan where we lay out the big picture. We take a look at where we've been and we look at where we want to go, and from there we figure out how we want to do that, and that's all part of that action plan, the things that we want to be able to accomplish. The next thing that we have to do is produce quarterly reports. So every quarter we'll produce a report that outlines what we've been doing as an office. Whether it's the communication office or the president's office, we have to produce these reports so that they know that we're spending their money wisely and we're getting things accomplished and that we've got this labor movement moving forward. Other than a written plan of action and quarterly reports, the National Office with the Solidarity Grant also expects us to become more involved in national actions. So one that comes off the top of my head is the Tax Day action, where we go to the Capitol and we protest some of the tax laws. What we want to do is be more proactive in getting this information out to the membership through CLC meetings and things like that. We want to be able to get those messages out and get the state involved in some of these national actions. Also, we need to implement a statewide action plan. So this is going to require the cooperation of all the CLCs to produce this plan to it. So what we want to do is develop a statewide action program that will allow us to satisfy that need for the national office, but also find something that's useful and motivating, something that we can mobilize around, something we can organize around. We need to build this statewide action plan to involve everybody. Finally, one of the things that the National Office wants to do with this Solidarity Grant is to build a successful alliance program. And what that is where we ally ourselves, or we align ourselves with an organization within the state. Now, it makes sense to use an organization that is statewide, and one of them that's been identified specifically by the United Steelworkers Local 632 out of Pocatello is the Idaho Food Bank. They've sponsored a golf tournament, the Frank Roberry Memorial Golf Tournament, as a way to raise funds for the backpack program. Now, what the backpack program is it's a program that the Idaho Food Bank has put together that provides 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 2 dinners, and 2 snacks to a student who's at risk of not having meals over the weekend. Now, these students, the way they identify them is that they're already on a reduced or free lunch program within their local schools. Now, what makes this significant is that the Idaho Food Bank has these distribution centers across the state, and what we want to do is we want to produce or replicate what they've done in Pocatello, have golf tournaments in Lewiston and in Boise where we can raise funds, get community involvement in it, raise awareness for ourselves, as well as provide meals for students who are at risk. The nice thing about this is that, or the benefit to the program, is that we're already trying to get into high schools through apprenticeship programs and through the I-1 program. What this does is it builds this alliance to where we're able to provide funds to a program that provides lunches and breakfasts, meals to students over the weekend. This allows us to align not only with the Idaho Food Bank, but with the teachers' organizations within the state, with the IEA. By building those partnerships, then we strengthen our union and we strengthen our position in the community as givers and as people who are involved and committed to making this community better. So with that, we want to make sure that this program is successful, and for that to be successful, we have to have buy-in. So it again ties us into the CLCs and partnering with them. It makes us accountable for the things that we're doing, and it allows us to become a new face of the union, one that cares about the community and one that cares about the people who are in those communities. So what I want to do is kind of recap the things that we've talked about. I've talked about the Solidarity Grant. I've also talked about the 4 areas that we need to become more involved in. That is involvement with the executive board in producing legislative reports, presidential reports, and project updates. We also want to partner and become more of a presence with the CLCs and helping them in the areas that they could use our support and build those relationships with the members. We also have talked about earned media projects and social media and how we can use those tools to change the face of the union in our state. Finally, we have the Solidarity Grant, where we have responsibility to the national office for the funds that they've given us, and we have metrics that will keep us accountable for how we spend that money and how we are becoming a more fluid organization. We need to reach out more to our membership. We've not been very good about that in the past, and that's something that we want to change for the future. Become partnered with the CLC to help them understand what the structure's about and help us understand more of who they are and what their involvement is in their community. It is through these things, these action plans, that we'll become a better organization. We'll have a stronger footing in our communities.
Join us in our new future, where we shake off the old-fashioned perception, a future where we reconnect and learn from your ideas and invest in your education. Allow us to become a part of the CLCs. Let us show you that we can bring change, that we can bring unity, and that we can be there to support our union sisters and brothers. Help us in changing perceptions. Join us in showing that this labor movement is still very relevant today while building tomorrow.